Today we're going to be watching Houston Police Chase, January 8th, 2015, abc13, abc13, ktrk, kprc2. So let's get into it now. Bam! Bam! Let's watch it now.
Breaking news to bring to you. We have live coverage now of a high-speed chase going on, I believe it's the south side of town, I believe on 59 freeway. We'll get more details in a minute, but there is the vehicle, hot on the chase. On the run, they have a dozen police officers behind him, both Houston police officers as well as, I believe, county sheriff's deputies. Andy Bass, live in Sky Eye. Where is this located now, Andy?
He just exited off 59. I'm not too sure exactly what he exited off to. It could have been the belt. It could be the loop. I'm believing it is the belt itself. It looks like he's heading eastbound along the south belt right now. As you just mentioned,
they just picked up the chase at around 10:40 a.m. this morning.
Is in the middle of your screen.
No, I didn't.
Eastbound
okay.
Along
let me just say it again. They just picked up the chase
back in the screen
at around 10:40 a.m. this morning.
They continue to run, but yet most don't get too far.
It started at around 10:50 a.m. this morning. Yeah, this chase started at around 10:50 a.m. this morning. And they've been chasing that guy for around 15 minutes. Yeah, they've been chasing this guy for around 15 minutes. And I know they're trying to grab as much information as is going on for the last 10 to 15 minutes or so. If you just
itself is where we tried to intercept
him. Came up along 59 and the belt,
intercept him. Sorry. Pretty much exited just and again, now. It's on the eastbound side of the belt. Looks like he's actually slowed down a little bit, trying to get in a little tighter thing if there's anything wrong with his tires or not. But this side seems to be okay. But he definitely is slowed down quite a bit since we joined the pace.
Someone's going to jump there. Here we go. Look at this, Andy. Someone's jumping. Whoa, off the edge. It's a long fall.
Oh, it's a long fall, and I know that it's been going on for the last 10 to 15 minutes or so, as you just mentioned. And they've been chasing him for around 15 minutes or so. And it's been going on for the last 10 to 15 minutes or so, as you just mentioned, as we were mentioning. They're foot-bailing, they're on foot. They're across feeder roads.
You can see it's definitely on an industrial park area.
But sorry about that, guys.
They're trying to hide from us and from everyone else. Now
they're trying to hide from
this building in this little area.
They're trying to hide from everybody or from anyone.
Right, and it appears there are two suspects that police are now looking for. You saw both of them just go on the side of that building there behind a fence into some of the trees that are there. The Sky 2 is zoomed out quite far, so it's hard to get our bearings on exactly where officers are at this time. But you can see that there is both of the suspects there right now.
It looks like they're trying to jump over that fence right there.
And this looks like it may be a commercial parking lot area, sort of an industrial area, not too far from a neighborhood.
And we believe we are in the Missouri City area. And that may have been the Beltway that we were. Let's see if Sky 2.
Yeah, hard to get a good shot of the suspects. We need them to zoom back. Okay, they've slowed down.
They need to zoom out.
They're sitting down.
They're sitting down.
Looks like one
appear to be out of breath from running.
They're out of breath from running. Fast, trying to get away from police. Suspect is laid face down on the ground, and now the suspect is sitting down.
Officer may be approaching.
Officer approaching.
Okay, and so the other one is lying down on his back.
The other one is lying down on his back. He's sitting down too.
As well. It appears the suspects are following the commands given to them by the two officers who are there on the scene right now.
And so we were just told the chase ended at the Beltway and West Airport. So in Southwest Houston, looks like a third officer just joined.
But one suspect.
The suspect.
That's right. They've got the suspect's hands behind his back, so they can handcuff him. The other suspect sitting there as well in that parking space. The other officer trying to get the cuffs around him. You can see two more police officers, another two. So this is turning into quite a scene out there on the southwest side of Houston right now. We, of course, do have a crew on the way to the scene right now. We're going to certainly bring you more information as soon as we get it. Still trying to gather more details from the newsroom at this hour as well, trying to find out exactly what sparked this chase.
And how long it lasted, too. We know that it ended in Southwest Houston in Missouri City, and those lanes are still blocked on the Beltway in that area at West Airport. And so lots of congestion in that area, but right now, police are not only on those lanes, but they are investigating that situation. Looks like both of the suspects
I saw them slowing down. All of a sudden,
they saw them slowing down. All of a sudden, that door just opened up.
Sure where that stopped
Not
at.
exactly sure what they
swing that camera around, Andy,
it
and let's see if we can take a look at the Beltway. Again, this was the South Beltway headed eastbound. There you have the officers. There is the van. Clearly, the doors are open. That edge right there, there's at least a 20-foot drop or so. But not sure whether they have anyone in custody.
And while you guys are watching this, let's get this box under control to back off. So that's the vehicle that the police were chasing for about 15-20 minutes or so. Chase started right around 10:40 to 10:50 a.m. this morning.
Well, and we do want to take a look at the end of
they
this
were on
chase one more time. We
at
saw
59.
the minivan
One more time, they saw the minivan reach speeds up
come to a stop
to 100 miles an hour and come to a stop. Looks of the two people inside that van jumping over the side of the freeway and taking off on foot hard. They believe they could, and they survived. It's a pretty hard throw. Let's back that up again of that drama of the whole scene.
Them driving 100 miles an hour is
Then
crazy
driving
enough.
100 miles an hour, as you can see, trying to elude police and lead faith. 20-foot drop or so there, and 20-foot drop or so there. There was many HPD officers and precinct constable officers as well. When also they're taking two suspects in custody, and they appear to be running out of breath.
Andy, you know, you've covered a lot of car chases working with us over the years.
I cover a lot of car chases on my YouTube video. If you want to check it out, that's what I covered many chases
And no,
on
not
my
too often
YouTube
that we see a minivan as the
as
escape
well.
vehicle,
On my
especially
YouTube
with
video
four males piling
as
out of it.
well.
I remember that we did see two females a couple of years ago
And
pile out of it.
we
That was a little interesting that we never see females.
making
But yeah, a
police chase
minivan
videos,
full of guys, not
making
usually what you
reaction
see
videos
as
of
someone
car
running from the
chases,
cops. We're still trying to
and
figure out
whether it's
exactly why they
protest
were running
or
from there. But you see those two in custody that
marching,
take off
blocking
from the belt
traffic,
and then run
to
southbound
beat Black
and then
Lives
get arrested
Matter
here
or
at this
anything.
industrial park just off of Gessner, just a little bit east of Gessner.
Yeah, I think they thought they'd be able to hide out there at that industrial park.
And that's a hideout
but their freedom
there.
was very short-lived, as we all saw. They ran around the side of the building and ran right into the arms of police officers there.
Ran
They
into
did
the
not
right
get too far.
right into
Again,
the arms
this
of
is
police
the
officers.
Beltway, the
well, you
South
can see.
Beltway headed eastbound.
South Beltway
go ahead
headed
and push it
eastbound,
just a
and
bit if you can, Andy, on that traffic that's beginning to gather there. A couple of lanes shut down as a result of the chase.
couple of
You
lanes
can
shut
clearly see
down.
several officers there, and then the backup beginning to accumulate there on headed eastbound, again on the East Beltway, or the South Beltway, that is, at Gessner Street. So what a backup there. But these guys did not get too far. They essentially jumped over the edge, ran across the field, and right there at the industrial park, being caught by police, who were able to get off.
And Andy, it was
Being
hard to tell
caught by
as we
police.
looked at that minivan whether or not perhaps their tires blew. I don't know if there were strips that
Whether
were thrown out
there
of
was
anything,
tires or
but it looked
strips,
as though they almost slowed down because
they almost
were not
slowed
able to
down.
go much faster as you pull it.
I know they tried to do strips earlier in the chase when we were trying to
tried
get
to
to
do
them.
strips
I
earlier
was
in the
looking at
chase
the left side of the vehicle
stop
when
that
we first
minivan.
joined the chase, and I saw all those tires intact, and looking at the right side, those tires are intact as well. So it doesn't look like there is any problem with that. They were just slowing down because they realized they were not going to go much farther. A lot of police were behind them. They had 3 choppers up in the air over them, so they probably just figured they might as well just try to run away and sort of just trying to drive away.
Yeah, and as we look here, we're trying trying to determine whether or not there were other people in the back of that minivan, or if indeed what we're seeing are people in custody inside of one of those squad cars.
People in custody.
Look through the
People
minivan to figure out exactly
people in custody
what went down
inside
there
one of those
Not
squad
sure again
cars.
why they were running. We have no idea at this point yet. Is that
Inside one of
correct,
those
Andy?
squad
Not sure.
cars.
This
Still
is
don't know reason. Yeah, we still don't know the reason why they were running from the.
We don't know the
police
reason
initially.
why they were running
But you
from
can see them
the
going through
police
van, looking at it very
initially,
carefully.
but
I
you
see
can
them
see
looking
them
into the back of this
carefully.
vehicle right there and talk to one of them, so it looks like they at least have one other in custody.
They
here,
have they
maybe
they at
possibly
least
two.
have one other
They're
in
still trying to figure
custody.
out if there were complete 4 people in
They're
that
trying
van
to
or
figure out
3,
there
but as
were
you can see, the
completely
officers are just
4
looking over the side
people
to see how far they actually
or
jumped.
because
They're probably
not
just
4
amazed as
people.
to
I think
how
yeah.
far they did.
And interestingly enough, we didn't see any officers follow them over the edge. I mean, that's a pretty good fall.
That's a pretty good fall,
Okay, well,
and
we can
there's
assume one thing,
there's
at
a
least,
TV
you know,
as
to
well.
the degree of what they have been
There's
able
a
to find in the
TV.
van,
Yeah, there's a
perhaps they were
TV
being chased
right
for
there.
an alleged robbery. We don't know that, but they're clearly taking out a big screen there.
Yeah, not usually what you see in the back of a minivan, is it?
They got some other
Again, they've been
belongings there
chasing
they've
that
been able to
vehicle for the
collect as
past
well. You can see all sorts of, well, those look like
15,
women's
20 minutes
bags.
or so.
Push in on those.
Chase
Push,
started
yeah,
right
push in
around
on those. That looks like you're probably as
10:56
far as you can
a.m.
go
to
there, but that looks like
10:50 to
some high-end,
10:56 a.m. or
bags there
10:40 a.m. I
that
should
they've been
say.
able to collect.
Excuse me.
Well, looks like they found
And they started with the police chase and the newscast too, as well. That's a designer handbag. That's a designer handbag. There's handbags. Yeah. Luggage bags and handbags. That is a
Yeah, that is correct. I believe
merchandise
the
model.
Crown Victoria vehicle that's coming in your screen is no longer being made by Ford, and that's why they all went to the SUVs and the later models. You do see some of the vehicles still in the
As well,
in the old
I'm gonna let you
style,
listen
but a lot
about
of them have gone to
Ford.
SUVs, especially the
Listen to me.
constables, the Pearland Police, Sheriff's Office. I believe are still in the Crown Victorias, but for most of them are using the SUVs now.
Yeah, probably a little bit more speed there as they get involved in these high-speed chases.
A little bit more power as well. Wow, what they've been able to bring out of that van there, pretty amazing. You know, big screen, flat screen TVs, Gucci bags, and
we don't know.
We don't know if they're
Gucci
Gucci
bags. I
but
should say Gucci bags.
we do know that they're high-end
Gucci bags.
Are we able to rack up that video
TV.
Once again?
That were
when those
stolen
two took
items,
that,
I think,
jump over
that
the
I
edge,
know the
because
Gucci
that was
bags.
a lot of drama
If
here
you saw
involved.
it as
That
well.
vehicle, that's when
Gucci
it slows
bags,
down, and you can see the guys here.
TVs
Whoa,
and
there they go,
handbags, I
one
should
right
say,
on the side.
as well. And you know, earlier
Lucky that he
on,
did not break an
Yeah, I
ankle or
was gonna
something.
think.
earlier
Yeah.
on,
You know,
they
but
were on
that
a
kind of
chase.
fall.
I'm sure.
But there they go, clearly running across the
Gucci
street
bags,
into that
TV
open field, into
handbags.
that industrial area,
Gucci bags,
trying to elude police,
handbags,
trying to hide from them.
TV,
But then the officers were
and
able
they
to
were
quickly maneuver themselves into
taken
that
into the
area
property
and then capture
that
them
did
right
not
on the other
belong to
side of
them.
that building. They run down this alleyway, and then
They were running
back,
down to
and then they run into
the
that
alleyway as well.
Trying to hide behind those hedges for a moment and
they
They're
don't know
trying to
where to
hide
go.
behind those hedges for a moment.
Yeah, why don't we go back right now to Andy Bass, who is live over the Beltway there at South Gessner, where they continue to search through the minivan that these guys were in. And we've at least seen one large screen TV, and I do mean big screen, coming out.
Big
And what
screen
appears to
coming
be
out.
a lot of
What
women's
appears to be
handbags. You can
a lot
see
of
as well the
women's
backup, because as we've been
handbags.
telling you, at least a couple of lanes have been
The
taken over
women's
by police officers as
handbags.
they continue to do the investigation,
They continue
which
to-
means
they
that
continue to do the-
people are having some
the
difficulty getting
investigation.
around them. But we're looking
Excuse
at
me
Feeder
for-
Road
excuse
now,
me, sorry about the fact, guys.
near where that industrial park is, and as Andy continues to pull out, you can see the Beltway, and you can see just how slow the traffic is moving at this point.
Andy, have you been able to, at least from your perspective, see anything interesting happening over there where they were able to capture the two guys on the run?
For the most part, everything is status quo. Or you can see that one lane on the northbound side of Gessner, along with that median is shut down right now. All the activity is still in the parking lot of this complex right here. You can still see one of them is still sitting on the ground. Not too sure if he got injured. They might have gotten injured in the fall, and they're probably waiting for an ambulance or an EMS to come on scene and check them out. You don't know what happened there, but they're definitely not moving them from this area. This is where they laid down and gave up, and that's pretty much where it's.
This is where they laid down and gave
aspect of it. Going back to the belt, let me pan back out and showed you this is still going on. You can see how many units are still on scene going through that to see how much there is.
10 to 15
a lot of paperwork's going to have to be done here.
And I seen the driver going at a high rate of speed. It was going on for around 15 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes or so earlier on. And you can see what happened when a wild chase that was.
Yeah, and we're certainly curious to see whether or not there are going to be other interesting articles coming out of that.
Interesting articles coming out.
One of the other guys in custody.
2 suspects are in custody
So there's at least
this
3.
morning.
I believe they were talking to the guy on the back of it. This might have been the guy out of that SUV right there at the left side of your screen that they were talking to when we were showing you it earlier. So at least 3 people have been arrested here so far.
3 people have been arrested so far.
Okay, now we
3 people have been arrested so far. Still trying to confirm.
HPD, but you know what? We clearly see that the Pearland Police is actually involved in this. So we see constables, officers there as well. I believe that's an HPD vehicle. So we have several agencies involved. I counted at least a dozen law enforcement vehicles at this scene, and then over there where the other 2 were apprehended, there were at least a dozen more vehicles. So we have a couple of dozen vehicles, law enforcement vehicles involved from Pearland Police, HPD, and the constable's office. And it all began in Pearland, where we understand these guys, at least according to information which we just received, were visiting the home of someone, asking for information about someone or trying to visit the home of someone. They weren't there. It was a suspicious call that started this. When police arrived, these guys immediately just fled and didn't stop. And now as a result, we see here that they pulled out a flat screen TV, several likely designer bags, and but they have been nabbed, at least 4 of them, we understand. Now we see 1 here at this scene, 2 at the other scene. We have not seen a 3rd one here, or a 4th one here, I should say, but we do know that there may have been at least 2 here at this scene.
Yeah, and what we do know is that these young men, and we're assuming they are all young men, appeared at a home in Pearland and asked for someone who did not live there, asked for a strange name. And perhaps the homeowner or one of the neighbors got suspicious and contacted police. And that's when this chase began. At one point, going at speeds of well over 100 miles an hour. And as we've been talking to Andy Bass up in Sky Eye, we sort of review many of the car chases we've seen over the years, and rarely do we see a minivan moving at that speed. But perhaps in the end, it just simply was not fast enough to outrun the police as we saw them jumping over the side.
Yeah, eventually giving up right there. Again, this is the Beltway at South Gessner Street, all coming to a dramatic close. We're going to have much more on abc13.com, much more later in this newscast as well, because we have a crew on the way, and we'll get back to it momentarily. But for now, let's go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll be back with more news later.
ABC13 Eyewitness News at 4 starts now.
Now on the news at 4, a dramatic police chase. You saw it all live here on Eyewitness News. 2 suspected murderers right there jumped from an overpass trying to get away. We also have
an update now after a dramatic police chase. You saw it unfold right here live on Eyewitness News at 11 a.m. Suspected burglars on the run from the cops, and did you see it? They jumped off of that overpass and then tried to run away, but they were caught. Eyewitness News reporter Angela Chen live now in Southwest Houston, where police busted the guys, and she joins us now live. Angela?
Hi. Well, one of the most compelling parts of this chase was when the suspect stopped their car and jumped off the freeway. Imagine that fall. Now, I'm a little over 5 feet here. If you take that and compare it to the height of this wall, that's about 20 feet you're looking at. Imagine that. It had to hurt when they landed. Now, let's take a look at that video here. This is the leap we're talking about off West Beltway 8 around the Airport Boulevard exit that 2 suspects made this morning around 11. You can see them sprinting across the street to the Crown Mark Furniture Distribution Center. Now, when we arrived on the scene, police had already arrested one of the suspects, but the other was unconscious and had to be transported by ambulance. At least one other suspect who stayed with the car was also arrested. We talked with a security guard who said he encountered the 2 suspects while they were trying to escape by entering the distribution center.
When they went into my building, I noticed a frantic on them, and I noticed helicopters. I asked them what did they need, and they turned around and ran. And I went outside after them. I told them, what can I help you with? And he said, go, go, go. And that's when I noticed all the commotion.
This highway chase began when they got calls about a suspicious person on Nahas Court. The suspect apparently went up to a house and asked for a person who didn't live there. The homeowner didn't feel comfortable and called the police, and when officers arrived, the suspects took off, leading to the chase you saw earlier. Now, police were able to confiscate a large screen TV and several purses from the suspect's car. We will have that video for you at 5. For now, live in Southwest Houston, Angela, 1013 Eyewitness News. What a story, Angela. Thank you so much. Very dramatic images. Now I am live over here at the Smartboard because this story really blew up on social media and on our abc13 Facebook page. Viewers like you having all kinds of things to say and leaving all kinds of comments. We posted the story and showed you the video. Joseph says, talk about a leap of faith. Julie says, A for effort, F for decision making. A very good point. Derek saying that happened right in front of my work. It was crazy here. Some of the eyewitnesses also posting on our Facebook page. And then Dawn making a great point. Good job, officers. Thank you for all that you do. You might want to go onto the Facebook page and join the conversation. A lot of comments I decided not to read live on the air, but there's certainly some entertaining ones. We'll just put it that way, Eric.
Some colorful comments, Alona. Thanks a lot. Okay, with the new year